Hey, what's up, everybody? Cool. Glad you guys could join me. Just thought I'd throw a little Who in there. I love that song. Actually, that's the reason why I picked the name of the show. Seeker of the Unknown was because of that song. And I thought about it for a long while. I was like, man, what would be a good name for the show? How could I do it? And I remember hearing that jam, and I was like, there it is. That's what I'm doing. And, just the wording of the song, how he's talking about, I've asked these people and I've asked this person, I've looked here and I've looked there, and I still can't find the answer, but I keep searching, keep looking, keep trying to figure it out. If you can hear, you probably hear my little in the background. Yeah, she's chilling with me this weekend, so she's watching Batman and playing with her toys. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. It's a great Friday afternoon. What am I talking about? It's a great Friday night, afternoon, evening. Just got done coming back from our local Runamukka that we've got going on downtown Winnemucca here in Nevada, and grabbed a little bit of food, nothing crazy. Grabbed my go-to, my garlic fries, and sat with my little one, and we just chilled, listened to some great live music for the band that was playing there.
It was cool. You want your water? No.
Yeah, but it was all good. We had fun. We did a walk around, and just got out of the house, just trying to see what was going on, say hello, and saw a couple friends there. And just like I said, just decided to chill and hang out for a little bit. But yeah, we came home, wanted to do the show. I know a couple people were asking me, how if we were going to do it or if we were not going to do it. And I was just like, well, I guess I will, and I got a couple friends that were, nudging me on, and were like, yeah, man, you should do it. Talk about something. And I was like, I don't know, man, I'm like really tired, but it being Memorial Weekend and, feeling all right, I guess, to do a show, I just figured, well, why not? So yeah, gonna do one. But as we always do, gotta do it right and get our intro going. So let me get that started, and then we'll get right back to it, and I will see you guys back here in a couple of minutes. All right, so we are back. Glad you guys are here. Glad you guys can join me for this. You can see it over my shoulder. But anyway, yeah, just enjoying the weekend. Got, I'm spending time with my little one, and just going to remember my brothers in arms in combat that did not make it home this weekend, and honor them, their memories of the sacrifice that they made for all of us. And just hope that you guys, if you have a loved one, a friend or family member that passed away or was taken early from us during a very hard time for a lot of us, but a lot of us, service men and women had to do what we had to do, which was step up to the plate and, defend our country in its time of need. If you want to go that route, and did what we had to do. And unfortunately, in the, throes of what combat entails, and a lot of us that have gone through combat and understand that, realize that, we all made the choice to live that life and accept that reality of what we were putting ourselves into. And we did so because it wasn't per se because, at the time, you built it up because of the terrorist attacks on 9/11, and we were gung-ho, and we were like, let's go do this. And a lot of us signed up to go, and we were all ready to go, but it started changing for me. I noticed that once I started getting around the other guys that I was serving with, it became different. It wasn't so much the, we all knew we were going to war. We all knew that we were going to go see combat, but it was more so that I loved my brothers. And the bond that we had, for each other, and the camaraderie that we had built around this brotherhood of service is what really became the cornerstone for my life. And I'm sure if anybody else is out there that's watching, and you've served your country, you can pretty much, align with that. Yes, I love my country. Yes, I would not change a minute of it. I would do it all over again. But I'm just saying that, the reason why I joined the military was for one reason, but the reason why I did a second time in was, an additional 3 years, was because of my brothers, and I loved those guys, and I wanted to be near them. I wanted to be close to them. I enjoyed it, but until I was unable to do so medically, and I had to get out, I tried to fight it, and they would not allow me to do so. So that was, the end of my military career, because I was not going to sit behind a desk if I was not going to be allowed to be an infantryman. That's what I signed up for. That's what I wanted to do. And I tried to stay in, but things were meant in another path. So, as I said, for all the servicemen and women who are out there, my fellow brothers in arms, I know that I don't speak on behalf of her. I can only express myself from understanding in the loss of friends and family members, even who passed away during the conflict in Iraq and Afghanistan, that it really hits home to know that you have friends and family members that are gone. It's, for a lot of veterans, it brings out a why not me attitude. I know there was so many times that I shouldn't have not been here. A lot of incidents that happened, that we went through, that I go, man, what the fuck? This is crazy. I know the guys that I was serving with, we would look at each other and like, fuck, bro, like that was close. Like, after everything and the adrenaline's, gone, and you're just got time to think about everything and see everything that has happened and transpired, it really is like, man, that was some close shit. And when you lose a friend or a family member, I don't know, man. It's just, I like I said, I just wanted to talk about this, because, like I said, it's Memorial Weekend. I don't talk openly about this stuff a lot, and the few people that I have talked to openly about it have burned me. And that's why I don't express it or say as much about it, unless it's to my cousins or fellow military vets that have been on that same level as me, or my brothers in arms that I served with. We talk a lot, about a lot of things, because we understand each other. We get it. We know that when we express our feelings to each other and we use lingo and jargon, that we get it. We don't have to tiptoe or bullshit or dumb it down or soften it up. We can fully express to each other without having to be clean about it, I guess is what I want to say. I mean, without being censored. And I think about a lot of things that transpired throughout my military career, and friends that I've lost, family members that have gone. I mean, all my friends are my brothers or my family. So I just say, my family members. And I did have one family member that did pass away. And it's just so surreal, man. For anybody who has witnessed combat in a sense where you are experiencing something that you've been trained to undertake and deal with, it was second nature in a way. And your mind just kicks into fight mode, and when you have fellow soldiers that are next to you that are in that mode, but you are like a machine that just reacts and engages with each other, that it's like you are a fucking singular mechanism that is working together without even having to say things per se. But I mean, you say, hey, this is what's going on, you get here, you do this, you do that thing, and start going so fast that you're smooth in the maneuvering and the tactics that are implemented in your mind, that you don't you're not thinking, your body is just reacting. And I know there was a lot of times that, we're either engaged or took fire from wherever we were at, and we just reacted and we did what we had to do, and it was intense, man. It was really something else. But like I said, if it wasn't for my brothers that were next to me or around me, I mean, we really we dealt with it. We kicked ass and we did what we had to do. And we saw a lot of friends, get hurt. But when you go throughout your military career, and especially being in a time of war, and you find yourself going, man, I haven't heard from this guy in a minute. Let me check. And the one thing that I didn't want to, but I was like, man, please don't let me find any of my friends in this casualty list. And then I got a call one day about one of my friends, my brothers that I served with in basic, Lester Barancini, old man Barancini. When Barancini, when we got to basic training, Echo 258, Fort Benning, he was the oldest in the entire company. And I remember the drill sergeants like, what the fuck are you doing here? And him being like, well, I want to serve my country, and I want to do my part. And he's like, your fucking old bones are going to break. And they would just dog him, man, because, he was an old guy. But him and I hit it off. One time we were sitting in the company area. It's the formation area in the company. If you've never seen any of these videos that I posted about these basic training formation areas, we would gather at the end of the day after our duties and stuff were done, and we'd sit there and we'd shine boots. And this is at the time where we still had BDUs, and we had to polish our boots, which I can still shine the fucking shit out of some fucking boots, let me tell you. Yeah, we were just chilling and talking, and we were getting ready to come up on our Christmas leave that we were going to go on for 2 weeks.
What, baby? Oh, who's that? That's Joker. That's so funny, huh?
But him and I were sitting next to each other. We're shining boots and we're getting it going, and trying to do our best because we're all new guys, and we didn't know shit about shining boots, man. We tried, and we would always get smoked for it because it was like, that's not good enough. The fuck is that? But anyway, we sat there and we were talking, and he was like, man, what are you gonna do? I said, well, I'm gonna go home. And he's like, where you live? And I was like, California. He's like, no shit, where at? And I was like, Fresno, Madera area. And he's like, holy shit, I'm going back to Bakersfield. And I was like, no way. And he's like, yeah. So him and I realized that we were both California boys, and we only lived like 50 miles away, 55 miles away from each other. And we just hit it off the whole time after that through basic. Him and I just, we talked and we just shoot the shit. And, he was like, man, I can't wait to go home and get these fucking In-N-Out burgers, because we were so sick and tired of eating barracks food, and DFAC food and MREs. And, he was like, man, I can't wait to sit there and just eat the cheese off the wrappers. And I just remember his face and his just smile, and I was just like, "Yeah, dude, it's gonna be so great." He's like, "I'm gonna fucking end up mailing some to myself so that way I could get him." He's probably like, "I'll get my ass." I remember him telling me, he's like, "I'd probably get my ass smoked, but it would be so fucking worth it just to have it." And I told him, "Man, dude, you're fucking braver than me." I said, "But it'll always be there when we get back." He's like, "Yeah, I know," but yeah, it was. I found out that he after we left basic, I believe he went to the 82nd. He went to airborne school and he went to the 82nd. And I left and I went to second ID in Korea. That was my dream station. I ended up getting it. They placed me there. And when I went to Fort Campbell and got deployed is when I found out that he was in country too, and he was killed by a roadside bomb, and I cried. I remember we were out on patrol, and we came back to refit and get some stuff, and like I said, I was like, I had some time and I was messing around and we went to the computers and stuff. And yeah, I don't know why I checked it. I don't know why I did that. I don't know. Maybe it was just something that was just telling me to do. And that's how I found out. I don't know. I know it's a bad omen, to do that stuff, but I remember that's how I found out. And I cried. And we had to end up going out that night to do a night mission. I remember that. And, that was shitty. After I got out of the military in 2009 and we came back to California, I went to Bakersfield. I went to Bakersfield to go visit his mom. And his father died a little bit after he was brought home and buried. His dad didn't really take it that well, losing their son. They had a big ranch out in Bakersfield, and Berencini Lester would tell me a lot. He was like, "Man, I can't wait till we get home, man. You're gonna have to come and see this ranch. It's so beautiful, man." He's like, "We'll take the cattle out, and we'll camp out underneath the stars, man." And he was just telling me about his dream. When I look at it now, that's what it was all about. That's why we did what we did, was because of home. It was always about home. And, I remember sitting there, going through his house and, sitting with his mom. And, she was just telling me, she was like, "I got a trunk whole mess full of his stuff." She was like, I can't use it. And I tell his friends that come by, and I tell guys that know him that come by to say hi, I tell him, if you want it, go ahead and take it. She was like, "Because I can't keep it." And we went to his room, and he used to tell me about the little models he would paint. And he had hand painted some lead figures of World War II soldiers. And I remember him saying that he loved doing that stuff. He loved doing modeling, little sets of things and making sculptures and landmarks of historical events. And she told me, she was like, you can keep it. And I told her, "No, I can't take that. That's his stuff." And she was like, "No, please." She was like, "He would want you to have it. Please just take it." And I still have them put up. I don't want them to get lost or broken or anything, but I still have those with me, and I cherish those things. But I just remember, God, man, it's just, it is one of those things that just really takes the life out of you. But you go back to those moments and you can remember them like they were yesterday. I can still see his stupid fucking smile, man. You know, and he had these crazy blue eyes too, man. And funny dude. And, you know, I love him. Loved him, man. He was a good guy. You know, and it sucks. You know, there's so many of us that, you know, can go on and on and on. I mean, you know, my brother Eric Shaw that fought with us in 101st and Nose Slack, you know, after hearing, you know, after I went on my deployment with him in Kirkuk and I left and I went to Germany and they went on their next deployment, you know, through, and it was like, fuck, man. It's just weird. It's just fucking weird, man. I don't know how to, it's like, you know, you still think of them as being, you know, they'll always be with you and be here, you know, and it's just, you know, I still keep in touch with his family too, and good men, really good men. But I just wanted to talk about that and get that off my chest because I rarely talk about this stuff unless it's to family members. But I just wanted to say to everybody that has either lost someone or has served and lost a brother in arms that, you know, this is what we carry with us, is those memories of our brothers in arms who have paid the ultimate sacrifice for this country. And you know, it is upsetting, like I said, because, you know, I don't piss on their memory. I honor them because, you know, they did what they wanted. They did what they, you know, they passed doing what they wanted to do, and they went doing what they loved doing. Does that mean that they didn't care about their families or they didn't want to be home? No, but they fucking fought and did their jobs honorably. And, you know, it is with honor and reverence that I talk about them. And there's so many that, you know, they all will be missed. They all will be cherished by family, friends, and loved ones. But they do not get the recognition that they deserve to the highest levels of where they need to be. And, you know, I think it is a sad thing when the country that you love can send young men and women to die in its steadfast because these young men and women are willing to do so. And we allow those who are above us to sit back and keep their loved ones safe while we are sent to the to death's door. And I had posted something not too long ago, a couple days ago, I think, about how it is that we can proclaim to be a nation of peace and be an example of that. But if we are in fact sitting here wanting to be peaceful, why are we still funding? Why are we still arming? And why are we still in alliance with nations who are committing acts of war and genocide in the name of false freedom? Because if we want peace, we can truly have it. Peace isn't just something that we speak of every day. It is a real thing. We can achieve it. And I said that, one of the famous quotes, I'm not really sure who said it, but I've heard it time and time again, is that those who have never tasted war or experienced it or seen it will always be the first to push for violence and war, because they will themselves not say, I will go, I will do it, but let's do this. And it is those of us who have experienced that, those of us who have tasted and seen and felt the effects of war, that wish for it not to be. So we will always call for peace, because that's not what we want. But rest assured, if it's war that comes to our doorstep and you provoke it to such that you are going to experience the wrath of what a lot of men and women will bring to you. So let's, like I said, I don't want people to get that twisted where, you're like, oh man, you've been now. If we have to do what we have to do, then we will do it. But I do not want it. And we should be the first to proclaim that we want peace. We want it. Because there is nothing uglier than having to send your children to die in some faraway land. To not experience a life that they could have had. To never grow old. Some of these men never got to experience the love of a woman. Some of them never even got the experience to be a father, a grandfather. To grow old.
Yes, baby. Another one? You gonna watch it? Okay.
I thank God every day for my children and the experience, and then being able to see my kids. But I think about them. I think about them all the time, and it hurts. Oh man. We live honorably for them. We do our best every day to fight the demons that come in the night, that fight and plague us day in and day out. And a lot of men do not make it past that. A lot of veterans do not have the fight in them anymore to overcome those things, to say, I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep going. I've seen a lot of friends that could not bear the burden of that memory, that pain, that mental suffering of having to deal with going through whatever they had to go through in their mind. And it hurts. Because you always think, I should have been there. I should have reached out. Thinking that you're at that lowest of your low, that is your only ultimatum. After all that we've gone through, all that we've seen, making it through that, and ultimately saying, I can't do this anymore. we can advocate for mental awareness, suicide awareness, and letting people know that they are not alone. But ultimately, if somebody is at their lowest of their low, where they have simply just exhausted all outlets, and leaving their friends, their family, their children, their loved ones, they know what they're leaving. They know what's going to happen, but they just don't want to deal with it anymore. And, seeing that, it eats you up. I know that I've cried so many times, like, fuck, man, like, I can't, why would they do this? And as I said, I mean, ultimately, we as veterans, and I'm speaking for myself, but I know, some of my brothers that I talk to and that I'm still in touch with, we deal with shit. I was bad at dealing with it because I used to just drink. That was the way I dealt with it. I would just fucking wear that facade of, well, let me hide it and try and be funny, because I know that part of me that I lost over there, I will never get back. And for me to try and get that back, I would use the alcohol as a coping mechanism to be able to just try and be that person again. And it just made it worse. So I stopped drinking. And I let go of that. But the pain and the thought and the memories and the things that I dealt with, I still think of it. And I still have thoughts and memories and effects of it. The alcohol isn't going to take that away. It is just going to make it worse. One thing that helped me to deal with it was because, like I said, I talked to people that I thought were there for me. I opened up to these people that I thought were there for me. And yes, it's okay to say, I'm going to talk to somebody. I'm going to open up to them. I'm going to be able to, because when somebody tells you they love you and they care about you and I'm going to be here for you, for us as veterans, that's deep. Because if you can open up to somebody that is telling you they're going to be there and they care about you, and they make you feel secure enough to try, that they're never going to realize what the fuck you're talking about. But to get that off your chest and talk about it, and then the betrayal of saying, well, I don't need you anymore. And you're not good enough anymore, so I'm done. You're gone, you move on. And you have all these secrets, these things that I kept that were mine. It feels, I don't think betrayal is the word. I think it's more of a stab in the back. Because I opened up a lot about things that I didn't want to. But I did. And, you get betrayed, and now you're sitting here in the same spot alone, and these people just have that piece of you and just, but it's really hard. The point that I'm trying to get at is it's very hard for veterans to open up and talk to other people about things, unless it's with another veteran. So I urge, you brothers. You know, I still have friends that I talk to. I may not reach out to them a lot as I should, or if I do, then I don't get a hold of them, or they try to get a hold of me and I don't get back to them soon, ASAP, then I try to get back to them. But we are always trying to do our best to keep in contact with each other and making sure that we are okay. But ultimately, it is the person themselves that deals with these things at their level of how they are going to do that. You can't ever make anybody do anything or change their mind or feel a certain way, or you know, hey, you know, let's sit down and talk. You know, it's hard for certain people to do that, and you know, people that, excuse me, that keep nudging or asking and pushing on that issue. You know, it's like, just leave it be. You know, I don't want to deal with that right now. And it's hard. So I urge people that are either dealing with that or have somebody, or if they're dealing with it now, I get you. But just be there without having to, you know, ram your ideas and stuff down their throat to try and force somebody to talk. They will do it in their own time. As long as they know that you're there and you're willing to talk to them, but be there for them. Don't just say you're going to be there and then dip out on them, because that is the fucking hardest thing for somebody to do. It's the shittiest thing to do, because it's like, fuck this. Now I'm not talking to nobody again. But for all the friends out there and all the family members and the people that we served with, their family members that, you know, who are not here, I love you guys. And we are the last of our generation. And we are the last of the hardcore, fucking patriotic, full fucking guns blazing, fucking die hard, goddamn red, white, and blue fucking, you know, if the shit hits the fan, I think it's going to be us that's I think it's going to be us that's going to end up having to pick it up. I mean, we might be some old rugged motherfuckers, but I'm telling you what, boy, the fucking hellfire is going to come, and it's going to be fucking deadly. But you guys be safe. It's Memorial Weekend. Take care of yourselves. And if you don't have a veteran or a family member who's a service member that's close to you, do a big service and honor and go to the cemetery. Go place flags. Go place a thank you card or a thank you note on the, you know, grave of a veteran, and just show your respect and your gratitude for these servicemen and women who did the unthinkable, the ultimate sacrifice, the ultimate selflessness, an honorable thing, by saying, I will do this. And I try and tell people, you know, if you don't do anything, you know, besides sit at your home and fucking just barbecue and drink beer and have a 3-day weekend, do that. Go fucking honor these men and women and go fucking say thank you. If their family members there, tell them thank you. You know, tell them, you know, you appreciate what their son or daughter or family member did. That is an honorable thing to do. But You guys be safe. If you guys are going to be out and about, be safe. If you guys are going to be driving, please don't be drinking and driving. Please. I mean, we've lost too many good people to stupid decisions, and that's the last thing, that we need is somebody doing something dumb and getting hurt, getting in trouble. But anyway, I hope everybody's having a good time. I hope everybody's having a good night. I didn't mean to get so depressing and get so down, but I just wanted to talk about that and get that off my chest. And let's dive into something a little bit controversial. If you guys have anything that you guys want to discuss, if you guys want to come onto the show, please do. I am going to post an invite link. Let me see if I can get this thing. I'm going to post the invite link on my Sorry, probably jumped back and forth, but I put the copy link on my Facebook page and on the Seeker of the Unknown page, and I'm going to put it on here. So if you guys want to talk, by all means, get on that link. I'll bring you on. We'll have a discussion. We'll talk. We'll, shoot the shit if we have to. We'll talk about anything. We'll talk about something. We'll talk about ancient aliens. We'll talk about ancient history, ancient artifacts. We'll talk about supposedly this new city that they found underneath the pyramids that's bigger than the structures themselves. We've got this volcano that's supposedly supposed to be erupting off of Oregon's coast, like 300 miles off the coast of Oregon, and about 1.5 miles or 3 miles long or something like that. I don't know. But they're saying that this thing could erupt sometime before the end of the year, and it's going to cause a major shift within the area and on the tectonic plates. And that's just insane. What is this new thing that President Trump...
Yeah, baby. Where is it? You don't know? Oh, no. You lost it? It's right there. Behind you, doll. Behind you, baby. Right there.
Just if you guys want to come on, click on the link and we'll do it. I mean, just let me know what you guys want to talk about, what we want to discuss. If you guys want to talk about something, it doesn't matter to me. Let's do it. It's Friday, Memorial weekend. Everybody's home. Oh, thank you. I love you too.
Yes, baby. Huh? What is it, my love? What? Are you done? You want me to hold you? Yeah? I hold you.
But like I said, I mean, I wish the best for everybody. And as the reason why...
Huh, baby? You want Choopy? Okay. There you go.
The reason why I did this platform was to give people the freedom to be able to express themselves and talk without having criticism or negativity from those who would wish to just be negative to them. Because I understand how it feels to just be, you know, ridiculed about this stuff. And I guess I can't change it. Stupid. But I just want people to understand that you are not alone. We can openly talk about this stuff. Express your ideas on whatever topics it is. And please do your due diligence about researching and looking into these things, because there is a lot of things that are going on that we do not fully understand, but it is being suppressed. It is being hidden. The world that we know it now is not what we think it is. It is not. I keep harping on this. And the more I get on the, as this progresses further, people are going to see the things that we've been talking about are real. Everything is a deception. It is a tool to just keep us blinded by what is really happening behind the scenes. A lot of things that are happening are being released gradually in small doses. You're starting to see a lot more UFO videos. This has just blown up since the congressional hearings from last year. And a lot of the declassification of documents by the FBI and the CIA on spiritual events, a lot of tests, and a lot of programs that are using things like telekinesis, spiritual advancements and levels of consciousness awareness. A lot of this stuff has been coming out a lot, but it's stuff that's been talked about for a long time. It's just now we're starting to gradually see that it is being revealed, that it's true. There is a lot of things. I think there was one thing that came out. It was called the Adam and Eve Project, where it talks about declassified information of documents that revealed the creation of man, and what these findings were about, and how the religious aspect was actually a decisive device used to deceive people in a way that it was going to draw them to be controlled at a level where it was a mental dependency to control people in order to keep them in a submissive state. And it talks a lot about the way that they went about it. And it just blew my mind, because I'm like, this is like so what we have been saying. A lot of people who are truth seekers talking about, the creation story, and how, we were created in this image of these beings, and, how and why and what our physical abilities of controlling anatomy and controlling matter around us, and speaking magic, or the words in our mouth that would, we invoke things into being or into reality. And even that, our reality is not what we think it is. It is a program that is set up by projecting what we think is a reality, but it is in fact just a facade that is not here in a sense to benefit human beings, to benefit mankind. It is a way of keeping them deceived and keeping them lower on the vibrational scale. And that was the reason that this whole thing that we know of from a certain timeline, the narrative was being pushed on the generation that it happened in, why they got rid of these Tartarian empires, and why they decided to switch up and rewrite or document history in a manner that took things out, that removed certain texts and information, and why you see the destruction of these cities during World War I and World War II, and across the globe. You see these places in Italy and, in Europe and the Middle East and in Africa, and why this whole string of deception was being played out was because if they could erase this stuff and remove it, then nobody in the future is going to question it, because there's nothing to question. You don't have anything to look at. But ultimately, you can't cover everything up. You cannot get rid of every single piece of evidence. Something is going to come out. Something is going to be revealed. It is going to be brought out one way or another. There are a lot of things that people will not change their minds about, because in their mind, they are saying, this is my reality. This is my reality. This is how I base my life. This is how I base my faith. This is how I base my wealth. This is how I base my day ins and my day outs. And they will continuously fight anybody that comes up with some different type of notion than what is their main focus. If it's something outside of their realm of reality, their box, it's evil, it's no good, it's the devil, it's deception, it is a lie. But it is only a lie if you factually check it and say, okay, well, that's not what the facts are saying, to refute it. You can't say, oh, well, they told me that it was a lie, so it can't be true. So I'm not going to listen to you. I'm not going to take it as fact. Well, my faith doesn't allow me to believe in that. So that's true. That's the truth, is that it's not real, because they tell me that it's not the way it's supposed to be. And like I said, that is just, those type of people that will not allow themselves to be informed or allowed to look at something or research or do their due diligence and say, fuck, there is something to this. Holy shit. Maybe it is true, or maybe we have been deceived, or maybe there is a deception that is going on to control us, to get us to believe a certain way, because if they can take our power from us that is within us and place it in an outside source and say that we are the only ones here that are capable of doing it, and there's no other beings that are out there from other planets, other civilizations that are more technologically advanced, or that are able to create human beings that are the creators, then you have them bound and controlled by the narrative that keeps them enslaved, not only mentally but spiritually. And they're blind to everything that is around them because they only see what they want to see. And you cannot change those people. You can only tell them, hey, this is information that I got, check it out, look at it for yourself. If they choose not to do it, then they choose not to do it. I mean, it is what it is. But as I said, this platform, I will not bash anybody because they say that they don't agree with me. That's fine. You don't agree with me. We can agree to disagree. I'm not telling you that you have to believe what I'm believing. All I'm saying is that please look at what I'm sharing. And if you choose to believe it, good. That's all I'm saying. But a lot of things that have come out, a lot of historical fact and narrative that has been brought to light, that has shed the deception of a lot of things that have been told to us for the past 2,000-3,000 years. How people can't say, okay, this changes everything. I don't. You're really hardcore into saying, it's like somebody going to watch Chris Angel and they're like, that guy's a fucking magician, like this dude's tricks are real, but It's an illusion. It's an illusion. And that's how I feel, to me, about how everything that I was brought up on. Now, this is just me. And seeing it and going, man, this is fucking, this is it. This is it. But when my eyes were open and I realized it was all an illusion, that I had to step back and realize, man, I was so brainwashed into thinking that this was real. And then you have the information that is 6 to 10, 12,000 years older than this. And we're talking thousands of years. The narrative shifts. The evidence backs it up. But you got to see it. You've got to understand that. You've got to put 2 and 2 together and look at it and say, okay, what I thought was real is actually not. I have been deceived, but you have to want to change your thought process. Nobody can do it for you. People can't change it for you. We have to. I had to do that. I had to realize and look at things and go, because once I did, I can't look at anything the same ever again. I just can't. And there's a lot of people that will tell you that. Once you step through this, that's why The Matrix, the movie The Matrix, really, really hit home to me. Because after I became awake and seeing things for what they were, when I looked back at that movie, it makes sense to me. It totally reshaped and revamped my thought process, because I did not look at anything the same again. And anybody who can tell you that that's the way they feel or has experienced that, they will tell you the same thing. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. And they will always, I can remember when it happened to me, and it just was like coming to me. I just remember telling my mom, it was just like boom, 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 boom. So much questions came to my mind that I was just like, holy shit, like, this is a lie. This is a lie. Like, this is so fucking fake. And I started looking into things. I got my I don't even have my whole library here, but I have like a lot of my books looking into certain stuff, you know, and I just started diving fucking head first into everything. I could not stop. And, you know, it just became a thing of, you know, well, I would talk about things at work and people would look at me like, you're fucking nuts, dude. You know, and it was little things like, you know, chemtrails, or like when COVID hit, and how I was like, don't fall for this shit, dude. Like, this is a deceptive fucking device. They're testing shit on people. Like, there's no way that this is fucking legal. Like, they should not be doing this. And a lot of the people that were, you know, jumping on board with this and just pushing this agenda, and the people that resisted, I mean, look at, we're here. I'm not dead yet. So now we're starting to find out, like, what the fuck happened to all these people's bodies that died? Oh, well, they incinerated them. And I you know, was thinking, like, you know, remember before all of this happened, that people were going to these Walmarts and they were fortified like fucking prisons, and they were seeing these mass fucking casualty coffins that were containers that the FEMA was putting in place. Could that have been what they were planning? They were waiting for? They were thinking a bunch of people were just going to be dying and getting sick all over the place. They thought it was going to be worse than what it was. they were preparing for the worst, but it was bad. I'm not saying it wasn't bad, but I'm saying, like, you know, in Asia, where people were just dying flat on the street, just fucking dying and falling out. And we know now that that was all just staged. Those were just videos that they were perpetrating to have people, just to spread the fear and the deception of what was really happening. And that is the fakeness. That is the unreality that we live in. It has become a thing of scripts, the narratives that they push on the public, you know, the setups and the breakdowns of what they are pushing for society, to steer them in a direction that they are wanting to go. We are literally seeing the decisive movements of these people that have been running the country for years. What in the world? Okay, out, man. And we are seeing, like I said, I mean, you know, it's I reference movies because I believe that movies, music, anything that holds a sway over the public, they can use it to disseminate information to people without it being right in your face, like legit coming out and saying it. We have movies talking about zombies and zombie viruses and how they've been fucking testing this shit and doing it. I think that's going to be the next big thing, is they're going to fucking end up releasing some shit that's going to do some damage. People are going to get sick, but they're not going to fucking die. Remember these guys that were fucking getting sick and they were eating people in the street? Remember that? Did anybody remember that shit? Remember the guy, was it in California, in San Diego, or the West Coast in Oakland or some shit? He was eating that fucking girl's face, or that dude's face, the homeless guy. Remember that? What the fuck, dude? Nobody remembers this stuff. A Joker? He threw Batman in the water? She's all into this. But nobody, I just thought about that. I was like, wow, what if these were the first phases of these people? They release something and it happens just like that. What if we start seeing things that are going to be equivalent to something that they keep just testing? We're just fucking guinea pigs to these people. I mean, anything is possible, right? You've seen the effects of what they did during COVID. You either fucking take the shot or you don't work. You don't get to go to the store. You don't get to leave your house. You don't fucking do nothing unless you comply with what we're telling you. And people were fucking turning on their family members. They still are. They literally were turning on each other like fucking rabid dogs over a lie, over a narrative for fucking the government psyops to see how fucking people would react, how much control they could have over what people thought, what they saw, what they did, their actions, and even to the point where they said, if you see somebody that's doing something, you need to turn them in, or else you're just as guilty as they are. People don't remember this because if you don't know your fucking history, you're bound to repeat it. But the Nazis did the exact same thing. The exact same thing. They would fucking go through the neighborhoods and they would tell everybody, you fucking turn these people in. If you're harboring them or you know something and we catch you, you're going to go down with them. People were fucking dragging their neighbors that they knew for years, grew up with them, were family members, dragging them in the street and beating the shit out of them, even to the point of killing them. These people went based off of the fear narrative because of what somebody had said. And here we are, 2025, and the country has been flipped upside down. We are trying to recover back from this. But are we ever going to get to the root of the problem? Which is, why are we still in a shadowy state of not being a free society and still being controlled? We're monopolized. Hopefully this stuff gets broken down and it gets freaking thrown out and it gets torn apart. But this is way bigger than what people are thinking. This is not just us. This is the globe. Whatever these entities are, whatever these people are, whatever these beings are that have control of these governments in so deep that they have been steering the course of humanity.
That's the clown?
That's Captain Clown.
That's Captain Clown. He beat up Batman?
That the shadowy governments that run this fucking machine, the technologies that are being suppressed, the ancient historical narratives that are being suppressed, the scientific origin stories of what is out there. What were we before all of these beings came here? Because we know that they have been here for centuries, a long time. They have been here for eons in shaping of this globe, shaping of cultures, civilizations, ruins that we have been finding for the past 100 years. These ancient civilizations that are far more advanced than what we have been told. The historical narratives that have just been coming out are just to hide this information, so that way we think that everything that we have now is new. Because if we knew, okay, that...
There he is. Pew, pew, pew.
She's all obsessed with the Joker.
I see it. You gonna get him?
Because if we knew that the technologies of the past were able to harness and give us free energy from the atmosphere and the earth itself, they would lose their power. They would lose their hold over us with these fossil fuels and these technologies that are only doing one thing: making the rich richer and keeping us under their feet. The medical technologies that have been hidden from us with these technologically advanced civilizations, and a lot of this stuff that has been given to us by these beings. Because if you don't know anything about the secret space program, or the contracts that were made, or the deals that were made with these entities between us and the globalist elites, to the quid pro quo, you give me something, I'll give you something, and as long as we keep doing this, we'll keep the peace. There's been treaties that have been signed with these races of beings from outside of our galaxy. I mean, look at Valiant Thor. That's a fucking declassified fucking event that happened that's widely known. And if you don't know anything about that, that's where you should start looking at. Valiant Thor. That in and of itself is fucking crazy, because he's still here. According to what they say, they don't want to disclose his location, but the guy still lives here. The being that came to Earth to, if you haven't seen the Day the Earth Stood Still, that's what that movie was based off of. That fucking event. He came here, said, "I want to speak to your head, your whoever's in charge, your president, whoever's in power, and the heads of the nations, because I need to warn them." And that movie is based off of that. Valiant Thor. There's fucking pictures of this guy. And there's even pictures of this Nordic woman who claimed to be a seer that the Nazis were using, because she was giving them information she was psychic. She was giving them information from these beings that were from the inner earth, and she was helping the Nazis build these UFOs. The Bell UFO, the Glocke. I think that's how you say it. Du Glocke. Sergeant Lish, if you're out there watching, your German is more fluent than mine, brother. So if I'm slaughtering it, help me out. But she was helping them, and I forgot what is her name, Ava something, or Eva, I don't know, Yvonne. But she was said to be in contact with these beings from the inner earth and was giving this information to the Nazis, which is why she was telling them, you need to go to Antarctica, and that's where they went. And when Admiral Byrd went down there and took the largest fucking fleet in American history of the world, they said they got their asses whipped by these fucking flying craft that were demolishing them and had technological weapons that they could not battle with them. They turned around like fucking dogs with their tail between their legs. And Admiral Byrd was like, this is fucking, there's more shit going on here that we need to fucking investigate. Admiral Byrd even talks about it in his diary, about going to the earth being fucking flat and him going through the fucking Arctic passage that is even on these ancient maps. He talks about going into the inner earth and going beyond the ice wall, and beyond the ice wall there's a fucking another civilization that's outside of it. They talked to him and they told him about this, they told him about that. There is so much stuff that is being portrayed as myth, that is being portrayed as folklore, that is being portrayed as science fiction. But that is how they fucking deceive people. They tell you one thing, and then they make it seem like you're fucking crazy, or you're nuts, or you're fucking lying, or they fucking say it's all just fucking a movie, it's all just science fiction. But these people that have experienced these things, these people who have witnessed it, they've even fucking gone and written things down. They have all been turned into fucking a laughing stock, because the government would rather it's easy for them to fucking make them look like a fucking total joke than for the truth to come out. Why do you think it is that we cannot go past the 80th fucking parallel towards Antarctica? You do that and there's fucking warships that will turn your ass around. Why? Oh, well, it's government. Well, fuck that, dude. It's basically like going on to trying to get next to a military base and they fucking turn you around. Well, what are you hiding on there? What is this so fucking detrimental that you cannot freely go past a certain point on the globe? And they put it in your face about the navigational systems. They even released it in the fucking files that are declassified. They train everybody to navigate based on a flat Earth simulator. It is not a globe simulator. It is not a spherical simulator. It is on a flat Earth simulation. I've never fucking been to space. I've never been far enough in the atmosphere to fucking see past anything. But I'm not going to fucking sit here and tell people that believe in that shit that they're wrong. Because I've never seen it. I've only gone off of what people have told me. So that in and of itself is not even fucking valid. Could it be possible that we are living on a flat plane that is continuously going? That is just continuously just fucking going into different fucking dimensions? Yes. I have never been to space. I have never seen it. We see so much stuff about how everything was being fucking fabricated to win the space race. We can't leave the fucking Van Allen belts because people will die. The radiation will fucking kill them. So if they left the atmosphere, how did they not die? And if they did it, why is it that we are so technologically advanced that we can't do it now? But they did it on some fucking copper-plated fucking tinfoil goddamn fucking machine that is built by fucking Tinker Toys and fucking company. And you're telling me these men made it through that shit in the fucking 60s and then flew back through it from the moon? Does that make any sense to anybody? Please just tell me that if this makes sense. But people are so fucking die hard that they believe it. Well, they told us that's what happened and it's got to be real. We can't even fucking go to the space now. We have to rely on these fucking fake ass videos of them landing a ship on the fucking moon because we can't put people in space. That is what I'm saying. They will send these fucking lunar rovers to the moon, but they can't put a person on that motherfucker because it can't happen. It can't. And the other thing is this. NASA came out 5 years ago, 4 years ago, and said that the moon is not outside of the Earth's atmosphere, it's in it. So that in and of itself would make sense that if we could go to the moon, we wouldn't be harmed because it's within our atmosphere and it wouldn't harm them from traveling to it. Okay, gotcha. I understand that. That makes more sense. That if the sun and the moon were local, as the model predicts that it is, there's so much crazy shit out there of video evidence that shows this stuff. I'm not going to sit here and fucking tell anybody you're wrong, but I'm going to keep an open mind and a theoretical mindset and say, okay, well, let me look more into this. Let me see what else is fucking possible. Because you look at a lot of things, and this is with everything. This goes all the way through to religion. This goes all the way through culture. This goes through civilizations. Anything that we have been taught needs to be rethought because a lot of things that are coming out, that are coming to pass, it is blowing the narratives that we knew out of the water. The pyramid structures. Ancient structures that they're finding here in the United States. I mean, people, for fucking Christ's sake, are sitting here saying that giants aren't real because somebody fucking told them that they weren't real. Ancients have depictions and you have journal entries from people who have fucking either seen them or got firsthand accounts from the natives or the indigenous tribes who were in first contact with them, describing these fucking gigantic beings who had double rows of teeth, 6 fucking fingers, were at least 12 to fucking 20 feet tall, and would eat people or were mingling with the local natives. Or how could they just be making this shit up? It's not like they were just like, yeah, this big fucking Gigantopithecus, looking motherfucker was just walking around and, we just decided to call it a fucking giant, a red-haired giant, because I don't know. That's what we figured we'd call it. But they're lying. We go based off of that because people will push that narrative and say, oh, that's fake. And if you believe that, you're going to be a laughing stock. So then other people start chiming in and, oh, yeah, that's fake. That's not real. But the evidence of finding bones, the evidence of finding remains, the evidence of finding these megalithic structures that cannot be replicated even today with the technologies that we have cannot be fucking debunked. There is so many things that they hide from us, that they lied to us about, that they tell us is not true, that they tell us is a lie, or they tell us that it's true and it's not, and we believe it. Because you've been so brainwashed for generations and years and years and years that you just keep going with the narrative. And until you wake up and you realize and you step back and you see the man behind the curtain and you realize it's an illusion. It's a deception. It's a narrative to fucking keep the masses in control in order to fucking do what they want to do. If you keep people dumb and ignorant and not questioning you, you don't have problems. You don't have issues. Because if people just go along with whatever you're fucking telling them, they're not going to worry about what you're doing behind the scenes. They're not going to worry about why their fucking rights are being taken away. They're not going to worry about, oh, well, why don't we have fucking free energy and we're still driving fucking fossil fueled vehicles? Wait a minute, I've got a fucking smartwatch on I can talk to people on. I'm technologically advancing since the fucking 40s. Supposedly, because there's nothing new that hasn't been done that wasn't done before. But we're still driving cars with fossil fuels, for Christ's sake. And it's insane to see that there are people in the White House that have come out and said, yes, these technological advances are here. We've had them. We've been able to do them. We've been able to have fucking time travel. We've been able to have fucking quantum fucking propulsion systems, warp systems that are able to take us to other galaxies and universes. But the powers that be do not want to release that stuff to the public because they'll lose their fucking cash cow. Simple as that. And that's stuff that people have been talking about for years. Dr. Stephen Greer has been heading up that thing, that movement since the 90s, the 80s. The man has staked his life on it. He's got a whole plethora of archives that you can see on the CE5 movement page. Go to look up Dr. Stephen Greer. Look up the CE5 archives. He has everything in there that he has collected since the 80s. God bless that man. God bless every one of these people that have sacrificed their lives, sacrificed their freedom in order to put this truth movement out there for everybody. And I thank them because him and all these men that have gone that from the secret space program or from the government that have just come out and said enough is enough. We need to be transparent with what we are giving to the public because they have a right to know. We are dealing with these people's lives. They should know the truth. That's what makes it worthwhile because there are people that want this information out. And there are still people that are still fighting to hide it. And if the information doesn't come out, we know that it is those that are in those seats of office that are still working with those shadowy entities. I am telling you right now, if nothing happens by the time this president gets done in 4 years, we know it was all a setup. Period. If things don't happen the way that they were saying it was going to happen, it's a setup. I've given up on it because I don't think it's ever going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen until somebody with the mindset that is just like, fuck it, here's your shit. There's whistleblowers that are already saying once I die, my files will be uploaded. Everybody in the world is going to have this information to this technology. They are going to, they can't stop it. Because if nobody's going to do it, then I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it at the right time. And these whistleblowers have said that. They have the information. They have the files and whatever they've got. And once they pass, they're saying they're going to upload this stuff once. Everybody will have it. You can't stop it then. But it's sad. Don't put your trust in these people. Don't put your faith in these people because if they really gave a shit about us and they really cared, they would do it. But they can't. Because they're temporary employees. They're only there for a minute. And the people that are really running the fucking show, they're the ones that are holding the fucking keys. They're the ones that are holding the fucking information. They're the ones that are calling the shots. Because they are the ones who are determining what is and what isn't.
That in and of itself is the key. Is why is nobody understanding that? If things were going to change, if wars were going to stop, if fucking food was going to be enough abundancy that there was no fucking starving people, that there's no fucking homeless, we have enough fucking things for everybody to survive on, but nobody is making it happen. Why is it that we still have people fucking sick that aren't getting fucking cured? Because the money's not in the cure, it's in the fucking medicine. It's in just stringing you along to fucking make these people rich. The fucking cure is there. They have it. But if you're, it's like they say, if you're good at something, you don't do it for free. You fucking make money off of it. They're not going to give up their fucking cash cow. They're not going to stop at this game until somebody stops them. Till they say enough is enough. The day that happens, we will truly be free as a society. The day that stops, the day that the day there's no wars, the day that there is no more hunger, the day that there is no more famine, the day that there is no more homelessness, where everybody can live free, live as human beings, live as one on this planet, and survive and be able to say that we are all united and that we are all in this shit together. The day that happens, we will truly be free. Because that's what it comes down to. That's what it's got to be, right? It has to be that way. You've got to want it. If they wanted it, they could do it, but they're not. It upsets me to sit here and hear, the president talk about, oh, well, peace, and I'm going to do this, and we're going to stop that, and I'm the only president that's been that. But you're fucking arming a country that's fucking committing genocide, that's using our weapons to kill people. But you're talking about peace. You're funding a country that is still fucking using our money to kill people. How are you talking about peace, but you can't fucking stop wars? Stop. Enough is enough. Stop the funding. Stop the fucking pushing the agenda of fucking wars in other countries. Peace is peace. It's not just talk. It's a reality that we can all strive for and we can have. As I said, those who don't want it, if you bring it to our doorstep, we will bring it to you. But it is those of us who have fucking tasted it and felt it and experienced it that long for it the most. The day when we don't have to send our children to fight another fucking senseless war. We just want peace. We all just want to strive and survive on this planet that was made for all of us. Why are we paying for things that is abundant that I should be able to get for free? People don't think about that. I'm paying for shit that I should get for free because somebody else is making money off of it to enslave us mentally and physically. That's what it comes down to. It's an enslavement. Once you realize that, you're on your way already to becoming free. Taking your steps outside of that matrix. Because now you have become separate from that herd. You've said, I realize that this is bullshit. I'm not going to continue on thinking the way I used to think. And that is a really huge step. And if you are on that journey, just like so many of us are, we welcome you. You're not alone. Don't feel like you're alone. It may feel like that at the beginning, trust me, but you're not. Keep searching for the answers. Like the great Thoth said, knowledge is power and power is knowledge. And he who seeks it will find the light within them, because we are all sons and daughters of the light. Keep searching. Stay safe. Have a great weekend. I appreciate every single one of you. I thank you all, the supporters that are, coming along and watching the podcast. Thank you so much. I will talk to you guys later. And God bless all of you. May the Creator watch over every single one of you. And happy Memorial Weekend. Thank you to all the brothers and sisters out there that have sacrificed, the family members of those who have laid down their life for the ultimate sacrifice. We are all in your debt. Love ya. See you next week, and I'll talk to you later. Till then, be safe.